Have you ever been scrolling through the news and you see a headline celebrating a company's record profits, only to see that same company file for bankruptcy just a few weeks later? It's a head-scratcher, right? Well, today we're pulling back the curtain and getting to the real truth about profit.
So let's jump right into what some people call the profit paradox. It feels like it breaks all the rules of business logic, but I promise, once you get it, you're going to see the entire business world in a whole new way.
Okay, here it is. This is the big question. A company's on TV, the analysts are all cheering, they're posting these incredible, record-breaking profits, everything looks amazing, and then, bam, out of nowhere, the doors are closed for good. Seriously, how on earth is that even possible?
And here's the kicker. This isn't some weird one-in-a-million thing. It happens all the time. Turns out, to find the real answer, we've all been looking in the wrong place. The secret isn't hidden in some complicated profit statement. Nope, it's all about the cold, hard cash.
To really solve this mystery, we've got to understand a company's true lifeline. And you know what? You can forget all the super complex accounting jargon. We just need to nail down two fundamental ideas that literally determine if a business lives or dies: liquidity and cash flow.
Let's make this super simple. Think about your own paycheck. Your profit is like your total annual salary, that big number on your contract. But your cash flow, that's the actual money that hits your bank account every 2 weeks, the money you use to pay rent and buy groceries. A company can make a huge sale on credit, and yeah, that counts as profit. But until that customer actually pays up, it's not cash in the bank. This brings us to our first key concept, liquidity. The easiest way to think about it is like your personal emergency fund. Right? If your car suddenly breaks down, do you have the cash on hand to fix it today? It's the exact same for a company. Can they pay their suppliers and their employees this month? A lack of liquidity is basically a financial heart attack. It can be sudden and fatal.
And that leads right into cash flow. Honestly, it's the financial version of breathing. A business can probably hold its breath for a little while, maybe it posts a loss for a quarter, but it cannot stop breathing entirely. If more cash is consistently going out than coming in, that company is quite literally suffocating, no matter what its profit statement claims.
So how do we actually use this stuff to make a smart decision? Well, as the sources for this explainer point out, just finding the numbers isn't enough. The real genius is in what you do with them next. It really boils down to a simple two-step process. Step 1 is just calculation. That's gathering the raw data. But step 2, that's where the real skill is. That's interpretation. It's about looking at those numbers and figuring out the story they're trying to tell you about how healthy that company really is. I love this quote from one of the sources. Numbers are the notes, but interpretation is the music. Think about that. The notes just give you the basic facts, but the music tells you the whole story. It tells you whether you're listening to a celebration or, a funeral march. All right, so why did we just go through all of this? What's the big takeaway for you? Well, here's the thing. Understanding the difference between profit and cash gives you a kind of financial X-ray vision. It's a superpower.
And this knowledge is an incredibly powerful tool. If you're an investor, you can see right past a flashy headline about profits and check the cash flow to see if a company is actually standing on solid ground. If you're an employee, you get a much, much better sense of your own job security. And hey, even as a customer, you can figure out which of the brands you really love are actually built to last.
Which brings us all the way back to our original mystery. So what really happened to that company that was making millions in profit? The answer now is beautifully simple. It just ran out of cash. The company was insolvent. It couldn't pay its bills, even though it was still technically profitable. It sold a ton of stuff, but it just didn't get the cash in the door fast enough. So the next time you see one of those headlines screaming about record profits, you'll know there's a deeper question to ask. You'll get that the real story isn't just about how much money a company makes on paper, but how much cash it actually has in its hands. So what's the real cash story behind the businesses you see every single day? Now, you actually have the tools to find out.